What's going on, everybody? Truckin family. Welcome to another episode of Truckin Wit P, and I am your boy P. Out here in Taylor, Pennsylvania right now, waiting on bills to get faxed to this distributor. I was sent with the wrong paperwork, wrong bills. It happens. If you're in the trucking world, you know it happens. If you're trying to get into the trucking world, I'm letting you know now, it happens. But to rewind it up, wind back, this episode is gonna be about what made me get into trucking. A lot of people ask me, what made you become a trucker, man? I remember you doing security. I remember you doing this. I remember you doing that, which I did do a lot of security, a lot of places. Worked at a lot of distribution companies and manufacturing and things like that. And I really got fed up. I really got tired of working in jobs that I didn't enjoy. Places I knew were temporary places. I wasn't going to be there for a period of time. I already knew that. I got tired of doing the security. It was decent money. But I just got tired of kind of putting my life at risk for other people's money and other people's safety. I felt like I'm more valuable than that. Not knocking nobody else, because somebody got to do it, and I did it for a long time. But I just sat around one day and I was like, well, I want to do something where I don't have to deal with a lot of people, because I'm more of a loner type. I'm not really like the big people person. I mean, I'm a friendly person. I make friends anywhere, everywhere. But I'm not just the talkative type, the spark up a long conversation random all day and stuff like that. I'm not that type. I don't like working. I would prefer to work alone than side by side with somebody, just because I don't want to sit there and be talking all day. I like to get in my zone. A lot of people like that. So when and then also I wanted to be able to travel, go move wherever I wanted to move to in the country without having to worry about looking for a job. I didn't want to have to start over, With a lot of these manufacturing companies, you'll work for a company 5-10 years, and then when you want to move across the country, if you don't find the same type of company or a company that's going to recognize your experience at the company you come from, then you're pretty much starting over. They're just going to look at it like, okay, well, you worked here for a long time. We know you probably go to work. We know you this and that. You'll start over. I didn't really want to do that. I wanted to go somewhere where I knew I make pretty good money around. I would live comfortable anywhere that I moved to. So I decided healthcare or transportation. I did think about going into healthcare. I thought about being a nurse. I'm not gonna lie. I actually started going to school for nursing. Then the whole COVID and everything hit. All these shots and stuff come along and vaccines, and they closed down a lot of things, so you couldn't really get a lot of clinicals done and stuff like that. That's around where I was at as far as my nursing situation. And so I said, you know what? Maybe nursing isn't for me. And I just remember a conversation I was having with a friend of mine, his dad, years ago. He became a trucker. He was telling me, hey man, you should get into this, and if you was a trucker now, I'd pay you this amount of money to ride with me to California. And I'm from North Carolina, so North Carolina to California, you can imagine what kind of trip that is. But it just started to dawn on me, like, maybe I should be in transportation. I had thought about it years before, but I always made excuses not to do it. I don't want to leave my kids, or I just got a ticket, I just lost my license. And I'm gonna go ahead and tell you guys, a lot of us tell ourselves these things, like, I'm gonna go once I get done with this. I'm gonna go once my son get a little older, once my daughter get a little older. I'm gonna go once I do this. I'm gonna go ahead and tell you, just from experience, if you want to do it, do it. Don't wait. Your kid's not going anywhere. Whatever you're planning is probably not going anywhere. If you want to do it, go ahead and do it, or else you're never going to do it. You just got to do it. That's all to it. So I just, I was talking to a cousin, and I was telling him, you know what? I think I'm about to get into trucking. He was a trucker. He was a local. He didn't go over the road. I said, I think I'm about to go over the road, and I think I'm gonna take the trucking route. I think I'm gonna try it. He said, you know what? That's the best decision that I've done, was get my CDLs and become a trucker. That was one of the best decisions I've made. He said, go for it. Go ahead and do it. Like I told him, well, I just got my license back because my license had been suspended just for tickets. You know, just some minor stuff. Not no speeding tickets. It's like expired tags, and I didn't pay my ticket in a certain amount of time and didn't go to court and just let it linger on. Eventually they'll take your license for like a year or so. So that's the situation I had just went through, and I just recently got my license back. And everywhere, all the companies I was calling, because like I said, I'm gonna get into the avenue that I went. I was looking for the best way for me to become a trucker. Where I'm from, there was a few options. We had the Goodwill. They were giving out government grants to help you pay for it, and then you pay the remaining balance. I think when I went, I think they were going to grant me about $1,500, and I think I would have had to pay about $1,800 for the remainder balance. I think I would have had to pay about $1,800 for the remainder balance, and I ain't really have $1,800 just to blow right then, because mind you, once you go to trucking school, depending on the type of job you work, you're probably not going to be able to work, because if you go to a full institution, because you will have to go there every day. They're going to expect you to be there 10, 11 hours a day, because they're going to start treating it like you're a trucker. You're going to have to log your logs like a trucker. You're going to have to show your own duty, of course you won't have drive time, but you'll have on duty time. And you start logging that during school. So you will have to have long periods of time of the day to where you can dedicate to school only. And I keep looking over here because, like I said, I'm waiting on bills, and I'm just making sure they're not telling me they're ready. But yeah, so I said, okay, I don't have $1,800 just to kick out and pay my bills up maybe for a month or two, just so I can actually go to school and focus on school. So I said, okay. I started calling a lot of companies that offer, hey, we're going to pay for your school. You just got to commit to this contract. Different contracts. Some places say, hey, work for us for a year and a half. Some places say work for us for 2 years. Some places say work for us 6 months, whatever the case may be. Some charge $6,000. Some I've seen as high as $8,000. Some as low as $4,000. The avenue I took was about $6,000. I'm not gonna say the company that I went through. If you do want to know, if you really want to know the company that I went through, you can just leave a comment or something like that, and I will get with you personally, and I'll let you know what company I went through. If you want to know, it was a company out of the Midwest. But like I said, I'm from North Carolina, so I called them. They set me up with a school that just so happened to be in North Carolina. The agreement was they pay the school and everything, all totaling, let's say, a little under $5,000, $4,800, something like that. And then I worked with them for a year. And of course, that's a loan. So with the loan with interest, it was like $6,000. If I decided to just pay them back. Or I could work a year, and throughout that year, they took $45 a week out of my check. And after a whole year, I think that equates to a little over $2,000. And as long as you work that full year, they'll cover the remaining balance. So you work a year, you pay the $45 a week out of your check. That'll be like a little over $2,000. It won't be the full $6,000. And after that year, you don't owe them the remaining balance. But if you work 11 months, and you quit, get fired, or whatever the case may be, you owe whatever you owe out of $6,000 minus the $45 that they was taking each week. So up to 11 months, 11 months, $45 a week, whatever that equates to. That's the only thing they would have took out of the $45,000. I would have owed the full remaining balance. That's how that works. So I chose a company that I feel like, kind of wasn't too high compared to other companies I was seeing. $6,000 is a lot, but compared to the other companies that I was seeing, it was around the same amount. And it was only a year. I was kind of pleased with a lot of the stuff they were saying. So it was like, okay, I'm going to go this route. So I went to a company. I let them pay for it. I went to school through a school out of North Carolina. The school's called Future Truckers of America. I'll say that much. I did go to school out of Future Truckers of America. But yeah, so I say this to say it's different ways to get into trucking. Some people have $1,800. Some people have $3,000. They can just pay the full thing, $3,000, $4,000. Some people have that money. Some people could have went to Goodwill and took the grant and they would have $1,800. I'm not knocking that. I know guys that did go to Goodwill and they got recruited from Goodwill. I just know my way. I went to a company, I let them pay for it, and which guaranteed me a job, and I paid them the money per week each week to get, to pay it back. I stayed with them for a year. I'm actually still with them. And it's been about a year and a half. And I will say that my experience on the road is nothing like what I expected. Getting into trucking is all in what you make it. You can go to a company and another guy can go to the same company, and you two can have totally different experiences. You have to figure out what works best for you. Some guys are getting into trucking trying to make the most money that they can make, and that's cool. Some guys are trying to make a little bit of money and get back home to their family. They don't really worry. They don't care about making $10,000 a week. If they can make $2,000 or $3,000 a week and get home to their family, then they're okay, and that's cool. Some guys are focused on saving money and buying their own truck. Some guys just want to work for a company. They don't want the headache. So it's all in what you're looking for out of the experience. So when someone tell you, hey, don't do this, don't do that, I say don't listen to them. Do your own research. Even what I'm saying, do your own research. Look into what's the best for you. What's the best way for you to get into it. What works for what you're trying to get out of it. Because you don't know what the next person's trying to get out of it. I know a lot of guys that went to Goodwill. I know a lot of guys that just paid the money straight out. I know a lot of guys just bought trucks and went owner op. That wasn't what I was trying to do. I wanted to come in through a company, learn the industry, learn trucking, learn how to drive, get experience, and then figure out where I wanted to go from there. So if that's what you're trying to do, I would suggest, get with one of these recognized companies, one of these big name companies. I ain't gonna go off naming them. You know the names. You just seen the trucks running across the highways. Get with one of these companies if you're coming out of school or if you're planning on going to school. I'm not saying it's the only way, but it is helpful when you get with the company. Run with them for at least a year. Let them get you a mentor, put you out there, teach you some things on the road. It's a lot of things I learned from my mentor. That I actually had a family member that went to school with me at the same time. He chose to just jump out there and get with a guy that had trucks and just kind of run under them. He struggled for about a month or so until he decided not to drive anymore. He decided to go back into manufacturing. Me, I went to a company. I got with the mentor. The first 2 weeks, he made sure I knew little things that I didn't learn in school. A lot of things I didn't learn in school, because you really don't learn about trucking in school. You only learn about how to drive and the regulations and rules. You don't really learn what goes on the road, what to expect and what to look for. So that's why it's good to get with a mentor. Let them teach you. Let them show you things. And then you get out there. That way you got somebody you can call that's experienced. You got a relationship with somebody that you can get advice from that's already done what you're doing. You got a whole team behind you, a major freight. You got a whole team of people that's gonna help you behind you. Not saying the small companies don't, but I just know from experience, these major companies got a lot of help. And you learn a lot. So don't be in a rush to try to get out there and make every dollar the first as soon as you get your CDLs. Learn. You learn things every day. You're going to continue to learn. I don't care how long you drive, but just learn, get your feet wet, get in the industry, and figure out what works best for you. But that's how I got into the industry. So on my next video, I'm going to go into how my first 3 months was. Like I said, it didn't go nothing like I expected. Even what I was getting paid wasn't what I expected. I didn't even get paid what the company told me to expect. And I'll get into that in the next video, where it was more or less than what I expected and how did that work. But yeah, for now, out here in Taylor, PA, you see it's been about 16 minutes and I'm still waiting on my bills. I was sent out with the wrong bills, so they're gonna have to fax in the right bills. Of course, they're not gonna let me do anything until they get paperwork. That's just part of trucking. Sometimes you gotta sit and wait, sit around, sit and duck. Until then, I appreciate y'all Truckin Wit P. I am your boy P. Until the next episode, make sure you like and subscribe. Like and subscribe. All right, now. I'll catch y'all later, Truckin family.